everybody, welcome back to my channel. My name is Christina. If you're an impulse shopper, like I have been definitely in the past, and you're looking to change your ways, this video is for you. I'll be sharing quick tips on how to stop overspending and finally take control of your budget. From shopping smart at the grocery store when you're hungry to creating wish lists, these easy habits will help you to save more and spend less. So let's get into it. With the ability to purchase anything we want at the click of a button, being bombarded by hot viral products left and right, it can be really hard to ignore. But if you're on a financial journey or starting to make financial goals for yourself, my number one tip would actually be to stop and think. It sounds like an easy concept, but oftentimes we don't really understand what the motivating factor is to why we're doing certain things. And when it comes to financial freedom, it's very important to know where your money is going, why you're spending on something, and it's not an act that is random. For me personally, one of the big things that I've had to consider going through my own financial journey is boredom. What do I do when I'm bored? I look online. I shop on Amazon. I can't stay in the house anymore. What am I gonna do? There are shops just along my block here. It's so easy to just pop into a store, look around, and then suddenly you see something you like and then you purchase it. So boredom is a really big factor to overspending, and I think it's something that it is important to be very conscientious of. Ask yourself these questions. Why are you buying this? What is the motivating factor? Why do you really want to buy this? Why do you feel like you are spending money on XYZ? That's something that is important to have that self-awareness of in order to be able to take control of your finances. So while boredom can often be a motivator to be out and about, to spend, to search online, and to spend money online, another factor too is also related to potentially your own personality and, for example, your generosity. Are you someone who feels like you need to buy gifts for people? Do you feel like there's always a birthday coming up or some kind of celebration at work where you always need to buy things for people out of the generosity of your heart, which is a beautiful thing. It's so amazing to be generous, but at the same time, is that really what matters? Does that person really need a gift from you? Do they expect a gift? Is it going to bring any value to your relationship by giving that person a physical gift? I personally don't think so. Think about, again, why you're buying things. Why are you spending? And is it ultimately bringing you to your financial goals that you have set for yourself? My second tip, which will help you to understand why you're buying something to help you stop and think, is actually just to simply take stock of your spending habits. People talk about budgeting, of course, which is a very scary word, but fundamentally, I think the first place to really start is to do a 2-month, 3-month, or even just a 1-month audit of your spending. Look at your credit card statements, look at your debit card statements, and really understand what exactly you're spending your money on, categorize them, and start to think about, what am I doing this for? Why did I spend so much money on makeup, skincare? Why did I spend so much money on clothes? Are these spending habits bringing me joy? Are they bringing value to my life? Are they helping me towards my financial goals? Does it bring me joy? Is this something that I want to continue to prioritize? And most importantly, I think with spending audits is it's no longer a black box. You cannot ignore it. One of the things that we tend to do is just kind of shove it to the side and forget about it, ignoring the problem, ignoring things that maybe we want to change. And this is where we can be better, because if we want to pay off debt, if we want to save for a huge vacation, we need to know what we're spending on. And we get in the habit of simply just ignoring the fact that we have debt, ignoring the fact that we don't have as much money as we want or need, ignoring the fact that we could be better with our finances. And when I looked at my finances, it certainly was a big shock as to how much money I was spending on things that didn't really matter to me in the end. And also it helped me to be more conscientious and understand, okay, I don't know actually what I'm spending my money on. And this is a big question that a lot of people cannot answer. What are you spending your money on? With the spending audit, you'll be able to take a good hard look of exactly where your money is going, and then be able to understand motivating factors of why you've purchased these certain things, or to be conscientious of future purchases, to remind yourself and say, okay, I don't really need this. I spent $600 on shoes last year. I don't need any of that. So I'm going to say no. Here's my third tip. And it's an easy tip, but it's also a little bit controversial and complicated, or I should say hard on the soul. And that is to simply remove the temptation to shop and don't go out shopping. If you are someone who enjoys window shopping, browsing, again, maybe you're bored, maybe that's just something you like to do, don't do it. Remove the temptation. Don't go out unless you absolutely need to buy something. And with that, make a list. Stick to your list. Don't derail from your list so that you can stay focused, get in and out as fast as possible so you are not tempted to buy anything you do not need, anything you do not want. Next is tip number 4, and that is to be prepared. I'm going to keep this one short just because the next tips will relate to this global mindset, but keep that in mind as you think about your spending habits, why you're spending, and how you can potentially prevent any overspending. And that really speaks to the idea of being prepared and understanding and trying to find ways of how to reduce the temptation or eliminate the temptation to buy things, whether you're in store or online. So let's get into some specifics. Tip number 5, that is, do not go to the grocery store when you are hungry. This may be a very simple sounding tip, and maybe you've heard it before, but it 100% reigns true, and I'm sure you've experienced this when you have decided to go to the grocery store on your lunch hour or right around dinner time. You are already hungry and you decide to fill your cart with a ton of extra products that you really don't need, which could obviously make you overspend. It also could be bad for your waistline if you're on a health journey as well. So if you are going to the grocery store, check in with yourself. Are you hungry? Eat a snack, drink some water before you go to the grocery store so that you do not feel inclined to throw everything in the cart. If you see a bag of chips, you'll just walk right by it and you won't need it. And as I mentioned previously, also go to the grocery store with a list so that you are fully prepared to get in and out of there as quickly as possible and to, again, avoid the temptation to buy other things. Don't go hungry. Make a list so that you can avoid any temptations that may come your way. The next tip I have for you is also another simple one, which is to simply pack your own snacks and drinks. Think about it. How much money do you actually spend when you go to a cafe, when you are at the airport and you're buying a drink or a meal at the airport? It can add up to a lot. And is it anything better than what you could have made at home? Probably not. For me, as an example, I am someone who gets hungry a lot. I get thirsty a lot. And I also like good food. So when I travel, for example, I will always pack my own lunch now and or dinner, depending on what time the flight is. So essentially, I'll pack my own meal. And that means that I will ensure I am eating something that I like, that is good quality, and third, of course, that is less expensive. The airport in my city doesn't have a ton of options. The options that are there are pretty crappy, so I don't want to spend $25 on a sandwich that I will not be satisfied by. So if you're someone who's going to be out and about a lot, even if you're in the car, definitely pack some snacks with you. Pack some healthier snacks that you feel good about. Pack drinks that you feel good about. And you can buy them simply at the grocery store for a better price rather than stopping in a convenience store, rather than stopping at a fast food restaurant, so that you can feel good about what you're spending on and ultimately save you money in the long run. Next tip, always bring your water bottle. I am someone who always has my water bottle with me. I get thirsty quite often and I want to make sure I'm staying hydrated. And those times where I do not have my water bottle and I forget, I feel crushed, because that means I'm going to have to stop at a convenience store or a fast food restaurant and spend $2-3 on a bottle of water, which makes me sad because, one, I'm spending money on water, and two, I'm wasting plastic, which is a whole nother issue. But nowadays, I always bring my water bottle to any place that I go, even if it's just across the street. I usually have it in my bag at all times. And now most people have access to water refill stations in many cities now, which is very exciting. So for me to save money, even if it's just a little bit, but again, if you drink a lot of water, maybe you actually save a lot of money. So for me, I always bring my water bottle as a way to minimize the temptation to spend on drinks. And for you, I encourage you to do the same if you're not already. Or if you feel like you are leaving your water bottle in certain places, forgetting about it, have multiple water bottles. Have one at your house, have one in your car, have one in your bag, have one in your office, so that you always have water available to you and you don't have to spend money on it. Next tip, and this one is a little bit more challenging for those who tend to like to carry plastic with them instead of cash, and I am certainly guilty of this, but it is to say, leave your credit card, leave your debit card at home, and only pay for things in cash. If you are someone who likes to go out, likes to browse, likes to window shop, and you find yourself spending money even on small things, again, maybe a bottle of water, don't bring your cards with you. Only pay with cash. Only pay with cash, because that way you know physically how much money you have left to spend. There's no way around it. It's a physical indication of how much money you have left to spend, whether that's for the day, whether that's for the week, whether that's for the month. It forces you to have control over your spending because you physically only have that much cash with you. And it removes the temptation, and it helps you to control what exactly you are spending on, because once the cash is gone and there's nothing left in your wallet, there's nothing left in your pocket, you can't do anything. There's no ability to overspend there because you physically cannot do it if you leave your cards at home. My last tip, which is probably my favorite tip, and I use this on a regular basis because as someone who does have a tendency to spend some extra money on makeup and skincare, I have incorporated using wish lists. And this is a great way to help you stop obsessing over something that you want. There's this psychological need to want something and get something right away and have that immediate satisfaction when you see something interesting. And so a way to kind of express that and get it out of your head and get it out of your body, you can put it in a wish list. So anytime that I'm obsessing over something that I want, let's say a new sunscreen, I do my research, I'm looking at it for days, and I say, oh my God, I really want this, but no, I don't want it because I don't need it and it's too expensive. I will go ahead and just throw it on a wish list, and it actually does help me. It makes me feel better. It makes me feel less obsessive. It makes me feel less anxious, whether that's good or bad to be anxious about buying something or not. And it gets it out of my head. Personally, I just use Google Lists so that I can just dump everything there easily if I'm browsing on my phone or on my laptop. And that way I can just kind of refer back to it at any point in time. Let's say there's a sale or there's a Christmas coming up or birthdays coming up. I can say, okay, let me look at my list. Is there anything on there that I really, really want? And most of the time, honestly, there isn't. I probably have a list of 10, 20 makeup products. And whenever I go back to it, I say, you know what? I don't actually want any of those things, because as we know, instant gratification is just that. It's instant and it's fleeting. And there's always going to be some new exciting product that's going to come afterwards. And that's probably going to catch your attention again. So when you have an item on your wish list that you've had there for months and months, that's probably not going to be of any interest to you, simply because it's no longer new and exciting. So that could be anything. You can put anything you love: books, clothing, accessories, makeup, skincare, shoe, whatever you want. Put it on a wish list and then refer back to it. If you're still thinking about it a week later, 2 weeks later, okay, then maybe that's an indication that you should buy it. But if you're scrolling and scrolling and you keep seeing all these products, you say, okay, wait, no, I do not need this right now. Why would I need this right now? Why am I obsessing over it? Think about putting it on a wish list to help you get some of that anxiety out and feel like you actually accomplished something, instead of just hitting click buy and spending whatever money that you have on it. And there you have it. Thanks so much for watching. I hope you found some of these easy tips helpful and help you to save some cash in the future. Don't forget to give it a like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye for now.